You are listening to Charlie's Truth audio blog. This is entry 6. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Hello, friends. Hello, family. Hello, people. Hello, hello, hello. I pray that you are well. I pray that as you are tuning into this entry that you're just feeling good, that you are in a heart opening space and heart opening space. Hmm. Okay. And that you're just well. So today I'm coming to you from my couch. I am cozied up on a couch. I did not think that I was going to record today, partially because I recorded last night and so I didn't need to record because we're already an episode ahead due to like me doubling up on another day. But I decided, you know what? I was just here thinking and I'm like, let me pull out the mic, you know? Um, so one of my processes with audio blogging is, or just like wanting to share, is that sometimes I just want to share without overthinking about it. Like I don't want to think about what I'm going to say, because what if something I'm going to say is so delicious and I can't recapture that, right? Like so I rather just come here, take a go at it and just hope for the best. And generally it works out for me because it's going to get posted. And that's the point of the 30-day challenge I have myself on. So that's a little bit about my process. I wanted to tell you all something. I wanted to tell you about my process. I wanted to tell you that I wasn't going to come and record today, but here we are. And I also, so as I was sitting here, I started to think, oh, I wanted to tell you all about, I'm changing it from saying episodes to saying entries. So yesterday, for whatever reason, oh no. So yesterday during the episode, like when I was recording the episode at night, I realized like during it I called the post a entry. And when I said it, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense because it's a blog, right? It's similar to like if I was doing a journal entry, like I would say entry. I wouldn't call it an episode. So I decided to start calling these entries since these are like audio blogs. And I know for myself, like a lot of my blogging is like educational as well as just reflections from my journey. That's just what it is because the way I learn, the way I teach, the way I share, the way I connect is through my own experience. So, yeah, I tend to bring everything back to, you know, reflections of my lived experience, my witnessed experience, and things of that sort. So, yeah, so you will notice I will call them entries instead of episodes because they're basically journal entries, if we're being honest. Um, so, the topic that I was thinking about before I turned on the mic is who I used to be. And the reason why this idea came to me, because I started to think about what life was like before I intentionally journeyed on this remembrance journey. I say intentional because I do believe that I always have been on this journey of healing, of this journey of remembrance for a very long time, even before I knew what it was. And so I acknowledge those former years. I acknowledge the years where I was learning about different religious beliefs, when I was reading the Bible, because I felt like I needed to know the Bible because people kept mentioning the Bible to me. And I'm like, I need to know the Bible for myself so that I can speak up for myself. Like I'm really about that life. You're not going to just tell me something and I'm just going to believe it. Like, I need to know what the Bible says so that, like, if people are trying to throw a Bible verse at me, that I also have an interpretation of it. So I was really into that. And I really am thankful for the relationship I had with the Bible and everything I learned. If you are a Christian or if you just love reading the Bible, I definitely recommend Joyce Meyer's Bible. I cannot think of the name of it, but I'm telling you, if you look on Amazon, you will see her Bible, and just like the setup of it is just so unique. It really allows you to have a, not allows you, but it invites you to having a relationship with God, you know? And another book, I think it's called Unmerited Favor. Unmerited Favor by Joseph Prince, I want to say, is another book that like changed my life when it came to religion. So yeah, so I had a lot of lives in this lifetime and I loved every single one of them. Every one of them had a purpose, and it's why I just feel so full um at this point of my life. But I wanted to come here and just talk about that, talk about who I used to be, talk about how life was just, it was a bit chaotic, you know, and just how peaceful things are now, and how a lot of this journey was just a journey of letting go, you know, not fighting what is, being with the present moment, honoring myself, getting to know myself, slowing down. I feel like a big part of my journey has been really learning how to slow down, recognizing that I don't have to be in a rush, recognizing that time is not running out. You know, I'm going to do and I'm going to get to whatever it is I need to get to in this lifetime. And I trust that. And with that, I get to flow. I get to journey with ease, journey with faith, and just know that everything is always working out for my highest good. No matter what is happening, it has a purpose. Like now, when things happen, even if like I feel anxious or overwhelmed, like I might cry, but that's it. Like I'm gonna move on. Like I'm not gonna stay stuck in it. I'm not gonna worry about it. And it's mainly because it's just like I can only do what I can do. And I don't want to waste the present moment that I do have worried about what could happen when I already know what is happening. And I can be with this moment as opposed to trying to live in the future, worrying about something that I literally can't control, right? I either have a solution for it or I don't. But worrying about it is not a solution, right? It's not going to do anything for me. I can give it to the universe. I can say it to spirit, and I can trust that a solution, an answer, a clarity will come, that I don't need to ruminate on it. And I think that there's something so beautiful about that. And so a big part of my journey has been, you know, a lot of mindset work, a lot of reprogramming my mind, and you know, questioning everything I believe, questioning the way I move, questioning my thoughts, questioning the stories I tell myself, questioning my perspective about things. Because I started to realize that, you know, the stories I was telling myself was feeding my emotions. And then I would get stuck in my emotions, you know, and get caught up in them and be, oh, woe is me, you know, or things like that. One of the gifts I do have and the way I'm designed is that I actually don't hold on to emotions. So research says that like I think emotions, which will be the sensations, only stay about 90 seconds, right? Don't quote me on that. But it is a short amount of time, and right, that's relative to the idea of a short amount of time. But anywho, like it doesn't stick around for long. And so a lot of times what really actually ends up happening is that we are feeding the emotions, and that's why they stick around. And so when I started to notice that and I started to pay attention to that, I started to make new choices, right? Because I at the end of the day, awareness is such a gift. It's a key to so many things, because when you have awareness, you can make new choices. And so in this case, when I started to notice, like, hey, the only reason why my emotions are still here is because I'm still fixated on the thoughts, and those thoughts are feeding emotions, and that's why I'm still so riled up. But if I choose to just let it go, and it is what it is, accept the moment as it is, accept how I'm feeling, then they can just flow on. And I noticed that, like, I really don't attach to my feelings. I don't attach to my emotions. I really don't stay mad. The only how I stay mad is if I try to force it. And even when I try to force it, I can't even do it like I used to anymore. Like I can't even pretend, because I just be ready for the next thing. Like it really does remind me of children, how one minute they're crying, yelling, screaming, and then the next minute they got a toy, a icy, and it's like the sadness never happened. And you know, there's just a gift in that. And so part of this healing journey has been learning ways of coping and ways of doing some mindset shift and ways of taking back my power and my control and being grounded in that. Um, yeah, I was on Twitter. I was on Twitter, well, X, and I just be watching, looking at people comments and what they post, and we all have different things that we care about, and it's often reflected in our posts. We all notice what we notice, and I think that what we notice has a lot to do with just what's going on inside of us. I love listening to people because I do believe that your values and your beliefs and what you care about, they come out in how you show up. They come out in how you express. And so a lot of times you can just people watch and figure out what people care about, what's a priority in their lives. And I've been able to recognize these patterns and recognize all of this through my own experience. Understanding my own humanity, doing self-studying, researching classes, all these things, taking a lot of time out to self-reflect and being honest with myself. All those things have helped to like set me free from the conditioning that I experienced growing up, right? All these ideas of what it means to be human, what it means to be a woman, what it means to be a Black woman, what it means to be an educated Black woman, what it means to be a woman that lives in the Bronx. Like all these things really plays into how you may end up showing up in this world. And because we're all conditioned to some extent or another, you know, it just is what it is. We are like a blend of so many things. And I recognize that in myself. And I recognize that, a lot of what I saw in other people, I saw in myself. And so a big part of just my remembrance journey has been just being honest with myself and also not holding too strongly to my beliefs. One thing I say all the time is that my truth is only my truth in the moment. It just, that's just what it is for me. Like, I can't tell you 5 minutes from now what I might believe because I might have new information. And I'm not going to go based on history and based on 5 minutes ago when this is a new moment, right? With new circumstances, with different energy. And so I want to be here in this moment and I want to show up in this moment. And if I'm showing up in this moment and I'm being in this moment, then I want to consciously make choices as opposed to making it from history and making it from beliefs and making it from the past, right? Whether that past is 5 minutes or 2 minutes, right? That's not the present moment. That is history. That is what was. And so a lot of times, when we are making decisions, when we are um existing and living, a lot of it comes from our conditioning. A lot of it comes from the memories of how something worked out before, or, oh, I tried that before and it didn't work. Well, you know who you was 5 minutes ago. And I might be a little pushing it, but hopefully you get the gist of it. So yeah, I just was thinking just about how different life was a couple of years ago and how this journey has been so beautiful. And one of the things I often try to promote is just like it can be soft. The journey can be gentle. Your healing journey does not have to be overwhelming. It does not have to be filled with pressure. It can be a breeze, but a lot of it depends on being willing to surrender, being willing to let go, being willing to release your ideas and expectations of how things should be, where you should be, where you should be on your journey of evolution. None of us have any idea how delicious it can get, And I think that that's beautiful because we can constantly be in awe. We can constantly be surprised by what we're experiencing, what we're going through, what we're learning, what experiences we get to have. I've done things that I never really thought was possible. And yet it happened for me because I believed it, right? I seen it, but I just didn't know how. But when I let go of the how, God showed the way. And because I've had so many of those experiences, it's a lot easier for me to journey in faith, walk in faith, believe in what may seem impossible, because I know that suddenly things can change. I know that what may seem impossible is very much possible. I can't wait to share with you all, if it ever comes up, like the times where I would make a choice and somehow, some way, a check will come in the mail. I'll get money from somewhere unexpectedly. And so like I don't believe in any, like I don't believe that it's the end until it's the end, right? I believe that any moment, any second can turn your whole life around. And I believe that because of my life, my journey is a testament to that truth. It's the reality of what I've lived constantly, consistently, and I witness my friends live. They be so worried, and then boom, a whole bunch of solutions come for them. It's beautiful. And sometimes I just be sitting back smiling like it's gonna work out, right? Like it just is. It's going to work out. Doesn't matter what that workout looks like, it's going to work out. And so I've learned that on my journey, because I used to be a worrier. I used to also be someone who lived in survival a lot. Like, even though I would be going to school, I would be working, like college, I would be working. And I always just expected something to go wrong. It's like I always felt like when I was younger, I constantly felt like things just couldn't go well for me, that everything had to be a struggle, that I would have to fight for everything. And then I learned that's not the truth. I used to have like a very interesting relationship with my mother, and I just always felt like we were like more siblings than anything. And during therapy, a lot of times the different therapists would try to tell me how I felt, right? Like, she should have done this, she should have done that. And I'm like, I never felt that. And so as I got older and I started doing that inner work, I was like, no. I think one of the issues in this world is that we give people labels. Granted, right? She chose to bring me to term as a mother. But that is what it is. But we give people labels, and then we have all these expectations of them, right? Like my sister, I had all these expectations of my older sister. I thought that she would be a cool sister. I thought I can tell her secrets. I thought I can trust her. I thought all these things about what it should have been like to have an older sister, instead of just accepting her for who she was, accepting my mother for who she was. Like, I literally stopped focusing on labels, and I've decided to just let people be who they are. If what a sister looks like expresses how you're expressing, go off, girl. And if I don't like it, I don't have to stick around. Right? Like, and it's and I learned that through my own journey, cuz I used to have put pressure on myself and on other people to be a certain way, to act a certain way, to live up to certain expectations. And now that I'm like looking back at my life and I look at the world around me, and I'm just like, things can be so much simpler. But I get why it's not. But oftentimes I just feel like it could be simpler. Things can be easier. Things can be more in flow for us. We do not have to fight what is. And we also don't have to stick around for fuck shit. Because the reality is, if you say no to something, that just leaves space for something else to come in. And so you can keep saying no until you're ready to say yes. I saw this post on Twitter like a couple of days ago from, by the way, that's where I mostly hang out at, on Twitter. I saw a post on Twitter a couple of days ago where this person, they were mentioning that, like, how they got everything they wanted in the way they wanted, right? Not according to the world's expectations of how to get it, but they did things their way, and they said no to everything until they wanted to say yes. And I love that message, that idea, like, I'm gonna say no to everything until I want to say yes. Like, I'm not gonna settle. I'm not gonna accept it just because that's what you're offering to me, and you're telling me that's all you're willing to give when I want more. No, I'm gonna say no to that, and I'm gonna just leave space for the possibility of more. And some people may say, like, well, why is that not good enough? Because that's not what I want. And I think it's okay for us to start saying that's not what I want. I truly do believe for myself that I am here in this lifetime to have a good time. So for me, I don't need to be saying yes to things that I don't want to do or that doesn't interest me. I really do enjoy experiences. I really am big on creating experiences, having experiences. And so every relationship, every connection, every opportunity is an experience. And so I don't need to get hooked up on whether or not I love it or like it. It was cool. Will I do it again? No. And that's okay. Would I do it again? Yes, but a different way. And that's okay too. And so, life has just taught me and my journey have reminded me that I get to slow down, that I get to breathe, that I get to live a life I enjoy, and that I get to redefine everything for myself. That just because that's the way the world works doesn't have to be the way the world works for me. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, I've lived it. I tell people, don't do what I do because some of the things I can get away with, other people can't for whatever reason, Favor ain't fair. Yeah, it's just what it is. We all have this life to live, and everything that's happening is happening for us. I know sometimes it sucks to even think that because of what we're experiencing, but I don't know. That's my truth. That's what I believe. That's what I believe in this season of my life, and I've believed for a very long time. So, yeah, again, time is relative. Um, but yeah, and so as I was sitting here, I was just thinking like who I used to express as, who I used to say I was, and to get to a place where I'm at peace with myself, where I'm constantly reminding myself that nothing anyone says to me, nothing I say to me, nothing I think about myself, nothing anyone else thinks about me change the truth of who I am at my core. It doesn't change that God is within me. It doesn't change that I'm here with a purpose. It doesn't change that I have an ego and persona and that is what I express as. But I do not own the ego. I do not, it is not who I am. It is a thing that is created. Our egos, our personas, they're all created. So they're all one thing. It's created. So, like I can recreate it again, right? I can keep changing it, keep changing it, keep changing it. But who I am at my core, that God is within me, that's not changing. When I leave this body, I'm still the energy beam that I am, that belongs to Source. That is not changing. And so, I feel like a big part of me sitting here thinking about who I used to be, who I used to say I was, how I used to show up, just inspired me to want to like share little pieces of my perspectives prior and how I see the world now and just how much mindset shifting has changed my reality, has changed how I experience the reality, right? Because the reality doesn't change. I think our lens of and perspective of it do. I remember I had this friend that asked me, "Do you believe that people change?" And at the time I was just like, I don't really know. But then now if you were to ask me that question, I don't know if we change as much as we remember. And I don't think that who I expressed as before is no longer part of me. I believe it's very much part of me. It's still a part of me, right? Those young Charlie that used to fight all the time in grade school, she's still in there. She's dormant, but she's still in there. Charlie that would get railed up and argue back and forth with you, or, well, I was never really too much of a back and forth for too long. Listen, once my blood pressure get up or my eyes water, let's just fight because I'm not doing all that. Like, y'all not about to get my blood pressure up, right? Again, and also like blaming other people for how I feel. Yeah, you contributed probably. You activated something in me, but it's my responsibility to care for it. All your activation did was wake up something that was dormant. What's up? What's up? You know? But yeah, so yeah, I go on tangents. I kind of lost track of my thoughts. But yeah. So I don't know. And I think that even when we talk about change, it can still be like, yeah, people do change. I'm not getting into all of that because I think that it's complex. There's layers to that, right? It can get very nuanced when we are talking about that. But I do believe that every aspect of who I've expressed as does exist within me. And I believe also that everything that is in someone else is also in me. It's just not activated. Those are just some beliefs I've had for years, and I still stand on that. I don't talk about it as much as I used to because it's just like it's already embodied in me. I don't need to worry about that. But when I was going through the journey of reprogramming my nervous system, well, resetting my nervous system, reprogramming my mind, and just clearing my energy field, those were some things I had to remind myself that what is in them is also in me. And it helped me not be so judgy, you know? I had some work to do. I had some work to do. A lot of inner work to do. I had a lot to do. And I'm just happy and so grateful to have had the experiences I have so I can tell people it doesn't have to be this way. And I can tell you that and know that it's coming from a deep place within me because I've been there. I've been in the dark. I've had the passive suicidal ideation. I've had experienced the dark night of the soul. I've had seasons where I had everything I thought I wanted, only to go through deep depression. I went through cycles of burnout. I was exhausted by the time I was 20. Like, I was so exhausted from life. I was tired, y'all. And I still felt like I couldn't slow down. I couldn't stop. And so I also think it's a luxury in a sense, unfortunately, and sadly too, to be able to press pause and to do the work, the inner work, so that you can get out of survival mode. So I never will judge anyone who is caught up in survival mode and just don't see a way out. Don't believe that there's another way. Don't believe this idea of like changing their mindset can change anything. Don't believe affirmations can work, right? Like, there's probably people who are like, girl, get out of here with your optimistic ass. Like, what are you even talking about? Because I have people often before push back, you know. Now I'm in a different place in my life where I'm not even trying to convince you. Like, I can tell energetically if you're ready. And if you're ready, I'll plant the seed. If not, I, I said what I said and I'm moving on. You know, like I ain't going I get it. I get it. And you know, and not everybody is meant to in this lifetime be on be a seeker, right? Like not everybody is incar reincarnated or incarnated to remember their truth, right? To get to return home. Like this lifetime may not be for that. And that's okay. You know, we don't need to force anyone into their journey because the seekers, whatever they're seeking, they're going to find. That is like what I feel like I learned on my journey is like whatever I was seeking, I feel like I found it this year, early this year. And that was just the confidence, the divine confidence. Like, though I used to always say I'm a manifestation of God, like, I need to be able to say I am God. God is in me. And to not feel weird or, oh, people are going to judge me. What are they going to think? F that. The truth is the truth. Okay. God is in you too. But if you don't want to honor that, that's on you. I'm going to honor that. I'm going to honor that. And I'm going to live a life of divine confidence because that's where my abundance come from. Okay. That's where I am rich in spirit and soul. I am inherently worthy and desiring of everything that I divinely desire. Most of my desires these days I don't think they come from ego. I believe that they come from God. And so I'm not trying to feed my ego. I'm feeding my soul. I'm feeding the divine. I'm giving God a key. Okay, Charliie is giving God a key in this lifetime. God is having a great experience through Charliie, period. And so that's what I'm committed to. And so like who I used to be was just very much trying to follow the rules of the world and be as normal as possible. But we hopefully I don't know if I want to say that, but yeah. Mm, that was interesting. So sometimes, like, I have images in my mind that I be trying to convey to people because I can see it, but I'm just like, what do I say? They can't see it. So they're not gonna see, y'all not seeing the image that's in my head. So unless I can convey that image to you, it ain't much helpful to you. I can just laugh about it because I see it, but sometimes I can't express the visions that I'm getting in the way that I feel like will translate well. But I don't know. I felt like sharing that. Yesterday I wanted to share that too because I had an image in my head yesterday while I was talking on the audio podcast, the audio blog, and I wanted to convey it to y'all, and I just, yeah, I wish I would have said that while I was trying to convey it because I could have used a little bit more kindness to myself at that moment, but here we are. No harm, no foul. So yeah, mm, I like this. I like just cozying up and talking to y'all, but that's kind of why I wanted a vlog. So we have an audio blog. It's kind of like a vlog, but audio. But yes, so yeah, I just wanted to come through and just talk about that because maybe me sharing this and I will get more. I'll sit down and clarify it more so we can talk about a specific part of the journey or a specific part of like what I learned, my lessons. Maybe I'll do like 10 lessons I learned for my journey and we can just talk about it and so it can be more structured and more detailed. So actually that's what I'll do. I'll put a list together and then come through and actually go through the list so it can be more structured. But I was just sitting here more structured, more guided, and hopefully filled with tips and perspectives because that would be helpful, right? Because I always want to know, like, why would people listen? But I truly believe that every time I talk, I say something that, will help somebody or will water a seed or inspire someone or help you feel good about yourself or help you be kinder to yourself. Like, yeah, I believe that. I believe that I exist in this world in that way to be an example by being my true self. Um, and so that's just my truth. Yeah, I've come a long way, y'all. Because this level of confidence, I used to, oh man. So part of my journey, I learned that I have a tendency to be an extremist. So sometimes I'm on the lower end of a spectrum, sometimes I'm on a higher end, and it takes a little while before I get to a middle ground. Um, with a lot of things, especially throughout my healing journey. There's just, especially when it came to like compassion and understanding and empathy, like, and there was a time where like I would rationalize everything people did. Like, I would be like, it's okay because I understand why you did it. And like, I would barely, like, because I knew why and I understood why people were doing things, I would just let it go. Oh, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. What? What? Do not let people out here be treating you any kind of way. No, no, absolutely not. No. And so, and I mean, I don't think people were too crazy, but the whole point was just like, I was just okay in people behavior because I understand why. I understand that this is an inner issue that has nothing to do with me. And it's like, girl, okay. You could be understanding, you could be empathetic and still be like, boundaries. And so like that's where I got where it was just like just because I understand why you're doing something, just because I do respect people's freedom doesn't mean I need to stick around for it, right? It doesn't mean that I got to be in this relationship because we've known each other since we was little or we got the same mother and father. Like, I ain't got to talk to you if I don't like the way you're treating me. If you're unkind to me or I don't feel loved and supported by you, I don't have to talk to you. Like, that is not part of for the that is not part of my soul contract. And if it is, God will make a way for both of us because no. So yeah, there's just been so many lessons learned on this journey, but also I just feel like where I am confidence wise, like being able to just say who I am and not explain myself, not cower it behind running away like, oh my gosh, what are they gonna think of me? What are they gonna say of me? Wondering after a conversation if I said something offensive or if I said something wrong. I'm very much like, whatever that experience God, it was meant to have. Like, and I can trust that. I can lean on that. Whatever people think of me is what they think of me. That is their perspective. And I don't need to be trying to monitor it or control it or manipulate it. Like, I know who I am. And that is that. And I've been around enough people who have been kind, who have been understanding, to know that there are people in this world who support you in just being you, whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like. They just support you as long as you're not hurting yourself or others. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. That's just what it is. Like there's so many opportunities in this world that you don't have to get caught up on the ones that you're not interested in. You ain't got that much time. Like keep the main thing the main thing. Focus on your journey in this lifetime. Enjoy that body you got. Enjoy that personality you got. Have a good fucking time. Remember the truth of who you are. Have fun. Let life be easy. Breathe into the moment. Surrender. Let go. Free yourself. Free yourself with every choice. Every time you make a choice in alignment with your truth, you are freeing yourself. You are keeping yourself free. You are remaining free. Every time you make an aligned choice, you are remaining free. Choose to be in alignment with your truth. Choose to be in alignment with the core of who you are. And you will know it because you will feel it, and your life will reflect it back to you. One of the things I keep telling people is that I feel like people are way more accepting of me, right? Again, this is my perspective. It doesn't make it facts. But I feel like people are way more accepting of me, and I'm not going around giving fucking disclaimers about how weird or awkward I am or how much I talk about energy. Like, now that I'm not doing all that anymore, I think and people just seem to like really be enjoying me even more. And again, I'm in different spaces, but I feel like people accept me because I accept myself, every part of myself. And I feel like the more I accept myself, the more I am being radical in that approach and that practice, the world is mirroring it back to me. I am kind and I am kind to the world, and the world mirrors that back to me. I get discounts. I get people just treating me really nice. I get people being very patient with me, very kind to me. And I'm not saying that I didn't experience that before, but that's all my life is filled with, is just kindness. People going out their way, people giving me discounts, people just smiling, happy around me. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm getting more invitations to share my wisdom. It's like people are feeling safe. And that's not too much of an issue I had. I do feel like the people that are close to me have always told me that they know that even when I didn't have a lot of tact, that they always knew that my intentions weren't to hurt them. They always felt like it was honest, even if they didn't want to hear it. But I've learned to hold my comments and what I'm perceiving to myself until someone asks. And when they ask, that's when I show up and, I share. But I don't try to push myself on people or get frustrated and be like, you don't see the mistakes you keep making? Like, whoa, girl, chill out. Let these people live their life. If you don't like it, move out the way. You don't have to be a part of their story. And that's what I had to tell myself. Like, you don't have to be a part of these people's story. They don't have to be a part of your story. And that's just what it is. And so, some people may see my approach now probably as arrogance, but because I know who I am and I know what it was like when I was arrogant and what that felt like, yeah, this ain't that. I promise you. That was false confidence before. Oh, this is it. This is a sense of peace, baby. That is beyond understanding. Okay. But yeah. So I'm gonna head on now. I said a lot. I will try to structure something and have a conversation. If you hear this episode, this entry, and you got questions or you got comments, please feel free to leave it so that maybe it'll inspire another episode topic, and so I can get to it. So y'all can help me with some structure, because literally I just turned on this mic. Honestly, the initial idea that started me thinking about who I used to be, I couldn't even connect back with it. I don't even know where it went. I didn't get a chance to write it down. So, but the topic was already there, and I was just like, I do feel like talking to that y'all. I do feel like sitting on the couch just chilling and talking. So I'm gonna do it, and we'll just see what comes out. So I pray that you enjoy this episode. I pray that wherever you are, that you are feeling good, that good meaning whatever you want it to mean, that you are feeling aligned, that your life is in flow, I'm sending you a virtual hug, and I hope that life is showing you how good it can get, that you are being spoiled, that you are being loved on, that you are just feeling fucking good, okay? That life is just okay, it's just so delicious. Let life be delicious. Let life be delicious. So I'm gonna head up on out of here. I'm looking at 555 on my clock. Let's go. But may you have your best day on purpose. Be kind, be patient, and remember the truth of who you are. Nothing anyone says or thinks of you changes your truth. I love you. I'm so proud of you. I'm wishing you well. And we'll be back tomorrow for another entry because that's what we do. This is Charlie's Truth audio blog, and you were listening to Entry 6. I love you the most. Ow.